are we on? Hello! Oh, goodness, she knows now. This is... Oh. Oh. This is Teaching Your Reluctant Learner. It's a collaboration hosted by Ashley from Joyful Noise Learning. I'll link her channel below and the playlist, and I'd watch the playlist because all these homeschool mums between us all, we're all going to come out with different things and we're all going to have different, it's a lot of experience between all of us. Hello, I don't know if you can see my baby. I'm filming this quick while the kids are eating their breakfast. That's why I haven't managed to brush my hair or anything yet. If you're looking for a channel where the mum looks professional and well put together, this is not the channel. I'm a homeschool mum of 5. Oh, sorry, my name's Victoria from England. Oh. And I do homeschool videos and large family vlogs. Come here, Donna. And you can find me on here, Instagram or Facebook. And I've just started doing a Patreon. I've just put a video on Patreon about how I use reverse planning and how we do at home drama lessons in this homeschool. So I'll link all that below. Anyway, I've done myself a little note, look, because I didn't want to word vomit at you. So, if you've got a reluctant learner, it can be stressful. Especially if you've only just started homeschooling or home education, whichever term you prefer. And you're feeling all that pressure to get it right. And you're feeling all that pressure to do a good job or rather better off in school. Calm down. You'd be surprised how common a situation this is. It does not mean you're doing a bad job. It doesn't mean you're not cut out for homeschooling. So the first one's chill out. You can do this. Okay. Now my tips for dealing with a reluctant learner would be, first for littlies. So you know, I give you a rough age range, but all kids are different. So take the age ranges loose. Between the ages of 4 and 7. If they're being a reluctant learner, are they ready yet? Because take it from me, they're all ready at different stages, they really are. Are they ready yet? Are you pushing too much too soon? Are you going too fast for them? Is it too hard for them? Is it hands-on enough or using play enough for them? And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, and are the lessons too long? So if they're little, just bear in mind that they learn best through play at that age anyway. It's probably best you don't go full pelt into schoolwork at that age anyway. So take the stress off yourself. They might just not be ready yet. And little bite-sized chunks that are over before either of you get stressed or overwhelmed is better and more beneficial than sitting there with a book for longer than their attention span can take and you're both getting stressed out. You don't want to associate negative feelings with learning, especially when they're little. So just bear that in mind. But if they're older and they're being reluctant to learn, the first thing I think, like, what are you looking at? Is there a reason? Get to the root of the problem. Like, again, are you asking for too much too soon? Are the lessons too long? Have you overscheduled? I think a lot of people, you can overschedule your homeschool. You can be doing too much. I'm a great believer in life learning and following your interests and all that. You can, especially if you're new to it and you're trying to replicate school at home, which I would never do. If you wanted them to be doing like a school timetable type thing, they'd still be at school. So are you overscheduling it? Is it just too much? Are the days too long? Is it just dragging? Also, I mean, you can't always include their interests. You've sometimes got to do things that aren't their interests. But are you including their interests? Include their interests as much as you can. Say you've got a kid that's really heavily into Knights and Castles. Well, that's their history lesson sorted. You don't have to think, no, but they should be doing this instead. They're still learning history. It's just something that they're really engaged in they're gonna be absorbed better. So include their interests where you can. There are some subjects We are all good at different things. There are some subjects that they're just never going to care about. I am never going to care about maths. It doesn't matter. I'm never going to care about it. So the only things I've retained are the things I'm going to need in life. So the subjects that they're really into, they light them up, just go full blast for that. The subjects that they are never going to care about, but they need some of for, then just get them to learn the things they're going to need. Not, it's pointless trying to get them to learn things they're just not going to care about. It's not going to go in, they're not going to remember it 10 minutes after you've done it. I let them follow their interests, but I do insist on the 3 R's, reading, writing and arithmetic, because they're going to need them, and because if something was going to happen, heaven forfend, if something happened to me and they had to go into school, I'd like to think they can hold their own in subjects like that. My oldest Pudge is dyslexic. He's never going to care about reading, but he needs to learn how to read. So what I've done is the little small bite-sized chunks, which is easier for him, and I let him pick what he's reading and I help him with it, like I read a page, you read a page type thing. So he is still learning it. Same as Beanie. Beanie's good at reading, but he's never going to care about maths, like me. So, whereas Pudge is really good at maths, so I let Pudge do the harder stuff with maths, and Beanie is just learning the things he's going to need. How to solve budget, how to cash up a till, how to know if someone's ripping you off, stuff like that. So, whoop. Right. And remember, your homeschool, home education, you're not bound to any particular learning style, any particular teaching method. Use what works for your kids. Don't think, oh, we've got to be doing it like this. It's like, my kids are more hands-on learners, so for times tables, sometimes we use a workbook. But I bought things like times tables, snap games and things like that, where they're doing it, but it's a game. You're not bound to any particular method of teaching. Like sight words, I have got some flashcards for the littler too, but sometimes I just randomly write words all around the house and get them to go find them. So it's like a treasure hunt type thing. And then they get chocolate at the end of it. So it doesn't have to be like that. That history textbooks are so dry. We learn history through conversation, documentaries, period dramas, read alouds, and it just makes it more enjoyable for me to teach it and for them to do it. What's the other thing? Now, so all them things I'm talking about is if they're a reluctant learner. But if we're talking reluctant learner as in they're disruptive, and as in it's happening every single day and you feel like you're banging your head against a brick wall and you can't get them to do anything, again, same thing, what are they interested in, get to the root of the problem, all that. But sometimes there isn't a reason. Sometimes they're just being disruptive, especially if they think they can get away with it. And if you have got, now I'm quite a chilled out parent, you've seen, I'm not you know, I'm not very strict, but if they are doing something wrong and they're doing themselves a disservice, natural consequences are going to sort that out. So I don't always, you know, but if those natural consequences are going to be quite bad and irreversible, like if they won't brush their teeth, that kind of thing, or if what they are doing is doing somebody else a disservice, like you can't get on with teaching the other kids, because the other kids can't enjoy an activity, or the other kids can't get that one-on-one time with you so they can do their learning because the other one's being disruptive, then you need to step in. And I'm not talking whatever level of discipline or whatever level of boundaries is personal choice between different families. So I'm not, you know, I'm not recommending a certain level of sorting it out, but you need to sort it out. And again, don't freak out. The thing about home education is the home bit is the most important, and home education is just an extension of parenting. So you just sort it out the way you would sort it out for any other parenting problem. Like, what would you do if they were refusing to brush their teeth? What would you do if they were hitting their brother? What would you do if, you know, it's just another example of that. You are the adult, you can handle this. Just handle it how you would do that. Now, mine aren't... I think we've only had a couple of instances where one of them's been really disruptive and I've had to step in like that. But if they've just been moaning a little bit, you can't be bothered. When they were younger, and like the younger two I've got, if they can't be bothered, I just say, okay, whatever, won't do it today, play. But when they're older, I think they're old enough to understand this is what we're doing today. I mean, if they don't feel very well or something's bothering them, then, you know, I'll leave it. But if it's just the fact that they can't be bothered, or they just feel... One of my children is preteen, that's fun. They just don't want to do it. Then I say, you know, oh yeah, just I meet him halfway and say, just do a couple of pages then. You don't have to do the whole thing, or we'll just read one chapter. Or I'll say, or if they go, Mum, I want to go on PlayStation. I'll be like, yeah, you can go on PlayStation, but after you've done this. And that's the deal, kid. That's what we're doing. Same as I would if, say, like, I don't know, the dog needed to go in the garden and I was busy with the baby or something and they wanted to do something. I say, yeah, but just take the dog out for me quick. You're the adult, my darlings. It's just... homeschooling is just an extension of parenting. And the same with parenting. Sometimes a certain way of doing things will work for so long and then the child will change phase or development stage or whatever and it all goes out the window and you have to think of another way to do it. It's exactly the same with home education. Oh, you did ever so well when Mummy did that video, didn't you? So I hope that was helpful. Like, subscribe, comment, all the things, please. It's free. And I'll link the playlist in the... Well, I'll link Ashley's channel in the description box. And I'll probably put the playlist in the comments once I get it. Right. Are you ready, young man? Yeah. I hope that was helpful anyway. If you could think of any better tips, put them in comments for other people.